Happy Tuesday, everyone. We have a fun little strength focus for you guys today. We're building off of what we did before, previous weeks, so we're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. We're gonna get a little bit more explosive with the shoulder work today. So before we talk about that, let's talk about our warm-up. Sumo squat hold of 10 to 30 seconds to a narrow squat hold of 10 to 30 seconds. We're using these two pieces as holds just to open up those tissues and kind of find a little bit more range as we hold at the bottom here. From there, we're going to move into an air squat of 5 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo and a side lunge for 6 to 10 alternating reps to start really opening up those hips, ankles, and knees. So we have 1 to 2 rounds there, so take the time you need to kind of get your hips open. We did some thrusters yesterday, so I want you guys to kind of really give yourself that prep time to start opening up that lower body. Once you're done that piece, we're going to come down to the bottom. You're going to take that a tempo front or goblet squat. So whatever style of squatting you're choosing for the workout today, that's what you're going to take down in the warm-up. So you're going to use that of 3 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo to really own the position. Maybe start experimenting with different loads depending on what you have access to at home, but starting to get yourself prepped for what's to come in the workout. After that, we're going to work on some positional work, that dumbbell pause dip, 3 at 3 seconds, dumbbell push press for 2, and the dumbbell overhead pause dip for 3 at 3 seconds. Again, just to open up that shoulder position and work on that nice solid dip and just open up the ankles a little bit. So we're not using that receiving position in the push press, but we are going to open it up a little bit to make sure things feel pretty good. Once we're done that, you're going to move into a dumbbell standing march of 30 seconds, just nice and steady. We'll talk about where you can hold the dumbbell after in our description, and then a lateral ski jump of 20 seconds just to work some lateral movement, get some explosiveness in the body, and get ready for what's to come. So we'll hit that 2 to 3 rounds, and then we'll move into our work set. So our work set today, again, although it says AMRAP 15 minutes, I want you to approach it on the strength and or quality of movement style focus. So don't worry about trying to rush. I want you to focus on that quality of movement, that nice smooth flow, and just working on good solid squatting. So you'll do either a front or a goblet squat for 1, a dumbbell push press for 1, and then you'll knock off 15 to 20 box jumps or a box jump equivalent that we'll have on the workout description for you. Next round, you'll do 2 squats, 2 push press, 15 to 20. Then the next one, 3, 3, 20, 15 to 20, 4, 4. Your lifts will ascend by 1s, and then your jumps will stay the same. So you're going to pick a number of reps between 15 to 20 reps and hold on to that the entire time through. So let's get you ready, let's get you pumped, let's warm you up, have some fun today. All right, let's get those feet under those hips. We'll take the arms big and tall up overhead. We're going to stretch over to one side, and then from here we'll come back through, stretch to the other side. Then we'll come back up and scratch our back, and then reach through the elbow. Then we'll come back up, big stretch. Scratch your back, and then reach through the elbow. And then come back up, big stretch. And then we're going to forward fold, touching those toes. We're going to walk up, that body coming down, framing the foot, and stepping that foot back. As we hold that nice lizard, we're going to keep those hips square. We're going to lower the knee. We're going to press the hip. We're going to come back through center, straighten and straighten. We're going to plant the foot, lower the knee, press the hip, come back through, straighten and straighten. Plant the foot, lower, press the hip, center, straighten and straighten. Plant the foot, step back into our down dog as we reach those hips. Just going to lock the heels a little bit back and forth. Then we'll come back into our plank, stepping the foot up, nice and square in those hips. We're going to lower the knee, press the hip, come back through, straighten the leg, straighten the front leg, plant the foot, lower, press, center, straighten and straighten. Plant the foot, lower, hip, center, straighten and straighten. Plant the foot, and step her back into that nice down dog position. We're going to walk those heels out, nice and steady, nice and flowy. Just waking up those hips and heels. We'll come back into our plank, pressing the floor away. We'll tiptoe those feet up. We'll roll, big stretch overhead, little side bend, little side bend. We'll come down with those hands and Give yourself a nice big high five. All right, let's get her going. Now, if you need any extra movement to get yourself prepped, maybe a little bit more lower body work, some upper back, some trap work, please take that down now. Pause the video, rock that, get yourself primed. We're gonna start warming up that squat and getting those hips, knees, and ankles ready. Okay, we're gonna kickstart off our day with a sumo squat hold and a narrow squat hold. Both of them are gonna be 10 to 30 seconds, somewhere in that range. So a couple key points. Our sumo squat hold, we're gonna get our feet into our sumo stance, holding that nice tall position. Our hips are going to go towards the heels as we focus on that upright torso and those knees pushing out just a little bit more than normal in our normal squatting. Just because our feet are wider, it's gonna have a higher tendency of collapsing inwards. We wanna keep them trapped on the toes. So from the side, what that's gonna look like, we're gonna get ourselves set up. Hips are gonna go towards the heels, my body's pretty upright. My knees are pressing out to the side, I'm staying tall, and then I push through those feet and stand up nice and upright. So, sumo stance, very straightforward. Narrow stance, we're gonna bring those feet in from our sumo to our regular, and then anything inside our regular squat stance. So that can change day to day, all right? Week to week, depending on what you've been doing, how tight you are. So give yourself some leeway. Anything inside of that normal squat stance is considered a narrow stance. So listen to your body, give it the narrow stance it needs for today. Now with the narrow stance, you may be limited in your range, and that's okay. So just take your time. Same mechanics. Hip to heel, chest stays upright, my weight stays through the midfoot, and I'm gonna hold that position where I can maintain balance, and I can hold that nice long spine. Then I'm gonna stand tall, shake it out, and continue on. The thing we have to keep in mind with these squat holds is when we come out of the hold, we would like it to look the same way as you go into the hold. So we wanna make sure that if we're holding the sumo stance, I'm holding, it's getting to 30 seconds. 30! Oh, I don't want to come out with my hips shooting up and then rising up, because that's not really a solid squat mechanic, right? We want to make sure the shoulders and the hips rise together at the same time. So in both of those holds, we want to make sure that we're giving ourselves the time frame that will allow us to enter well, hold strong, and leave well as well. So listen to your body. It doesn't matter if you don't hit the whole 30. I want you to just get down there in that squat hold. Anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds is perfect. Now after the narrow squat hold, all right, we've done those two squats, we're gonna come into our normal squat stance. We're gonna come back out a little wider into our squat position, and we are gonna work on some air squats. 5 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo. So the same mechanics apply. Weight through the midfoot, we're gonna take the hips to the heels. So we take it down, 3, 2, and 1, little pause, and we're gonna stand nice and slow for 3 seconds as well. So again, putting all of that good squat work into effect, working on the shoulders and the hips rising together. So take your time with those. It's gonna feel really, hopefully, a little more open and free after those 2 holds. From the air squat, we're gonna go into our side lunge. And again, with our side lunge, we wanna think squat mechanics, not necessarily lunge mechanics. So the knee is going to track the toe, my torso is going to be upright like I'm in the bottom of a squat. So let's take that hip to heel, keeping the body tall and upright. That knee tracks the toe, and I'm staying as upright as I can. And from here, I'm going to push through that midfoot and stand fully open through those hips, and then draw down towards the heel on the other side. And I push through those legs to open up, and I'll take it back and forth. There's no tempo here, but these shouldn't be rushed. We want to make sure we're hitting those key positions well and maintaining that tall torso as we go down. As a quick recap, we have a sumo squat hold of 10 to 30 seconds, narrow squat hold of 10 to 30 seconds, air squat of 5 reps, 3-1-3 tempo, side lunge for 6 to 10 alternating, and that is going to be down to 1 to 2 rounds. So again, if you need a little extra warm up, take 2 rounds of that. Give yourself that time, work those squat mechanics, get your body prepped. Pause the video, rock it, come back and join me. We're going to talk about some movements and some skill work that you're going to see in the workout today. Okay, we've opened up those legs a little bit. We've gotten the body ready. Now we're going to start picking the squat that's going to best serve our needs for the day. So with this, if you'd like to try both of them out throughout some different rounds, please be my guest, because they're both these squats are going to help each other out in terms of prepping your body for what's to come in the workout. So what we have the option for is the goblet or the front squat. So the goblet squat, we have our natural squat stance, so hip to shoulder. The dumbbell's gonna come up under the chin, and I'm gonna actively press a little bit into the dumbbell. And that's gonna keep my midsection ready to go, turned on and ready for action. So from the sides, you can see my hips, same squat mechanics we've been working on in the opening sequence. Pressing into the dumbbell, I draw the hips to the heels, knees track the toes, nice and solid, and then I stand up nice and tall. So I'm working through that good squat while I keep the dumbbell close to my body. Front squat, very similar, except the dumbbell is going to be held in the front rack. So we have to clean it up, all right, with that lovely leg and hip extension. Back of the dumbbell is going to rest on the shoulder as I push a little bit into the dumbbell to keep my side and my midsection turned on and ready. Same mechanics, hips go to the heels, my body stays upright, my knees track the toes, I stay as upright as I can as I come through, and I stay active into this dumbbell the entire time I work through that flow. So both movements will help each other, warm each other up. I'd suggest trying both throughout the warm-ups just to see what you want to take down today. Just remember, if you have 2 dumbbells, that front squat's going to be a little less stable because you have to deal with 2 dumbbells, where that goblet squat, we have 1 dumbbell held to the middle. So it does allow us to go a little heavier with that position while loading through the midsection. Now after that, we're going to work on some push press mechanics. So I'm going to clean the dumbbell back up to my shoulder. My feet are going to come under my hips, all right? Nice and solid, or slightly outside the hips, depending on my ankles. I'm going to press into the dumbbell a bit again to keep that good front rack active. We're going to start with a pause dip. So I'm going to try and stay centered right through my laces as I lower straight down. Big toe stay down, shoulder stays over top of the hip, and I stay as upright as I can. And then I stand nice and tall. So again, straight down, weight stays through the midfoot, my feet are flat, big toes flat, and then I come standing back up. So I'm going to take that dip, hold for 3 seconds, stand tall. From there, I'm going to move right into my push press. So it's at speed, same dip, I dip, big press overhead, and then I come back down. I get set to the midsection, good dip, straight up, and then I hold that dumbbell overhead in that good overhead position. So bicep just behind the ear, actively pressing into the dumbbell as I move into that same dip. So straight down, weight to the midfoot, ribs in, hip under shoulder, shoulder under dumbbell. And I stand. And I do that again. Keeping in mind with this overhead dip, you may not have the same range of motion you may have as the dumbbell is in that rack position. So it might be a little more challenging on the midsection to maintain that position. So listen to your body. Don't panic if it's not the same depth. Listen to your body, because that's going to really help challenge that position and open up and help open up that overhead position a bit, as long as we're listening to it. So take it to the depth that's solid for that overhead dip, not necessarily the same as the other dip. Once we're done with that, we're going to start firing up those hip flexors again, and we have our standing march. And you can hold the dumbbell goblet style, Zercher style. You can hold it in a front rack. You can hold it in a suitcase or a farmer's carry. Regardless of where you hold the dumbbell, the movement's the same. So I'm going to hold the dumbbell on the far side so you can see my legs a little bit more. The dumbbell will be held right to the side. I'm nice and stable through the upper body. If I'm holding 2 dumbbells, I'll just hold on the other side. And I'm going to lift that knee straight up, keeping that balancing leg straight, and then come down and transition back and forth. Trying to get that knee up past my hip crease as best I can, but while keeping that balancing leg straight. So we really need to focus on that straight leg position as we're lifting the leg. And if we have tighter hamstrings and we feel this starting to happen, this little buckle, all right, we don't need to lift the leg as high, just push to the edge. That still allows that leg to stay straight and extended. You have 30 seconds of marching just to fire up those quads, and then we're going to move into some lateral ski jumps. So we're going to work some lateral movement so we can control. We're going to load the leg, we're going to swing the arms, and we're going to allow that swing to carry that leg and body over into that lateral ski. We're going to pause briefly on that leg to show control, that gathering of the energy, and then return the other way. to again work on control, deceleration, and controlling of that lateral energy. Now, if you're not a jumper, you can do one of two things. You can step, swing, step, and you can work that, or you can start jumping just with little lateral jumps. So just smaller bite-sized chunks to practice the jump. You can start getting used to the jump just a little bit. So it's up to you. But the main factor is learning how to create momentum through the upper body that carries into the leg to get that nice smooth flow. We have 20 seconds of lateral skis, back and forth, not looking for a ton of reps here, just looking to get those legs fired up a little bit differently and that heart rate going. So as a quick recap, we have a tempo front or goblet squat. Play with both or pick the one you're going to use in the workout. Dumbbell pause dip, 3 at 3 seconds. Dumbbell push press for 2. Dumbbell overhead pause dip, 3 at 3 seconds. Now if you have one dumbbell, go through that whole complex on one side, then to the other. If you have 2, just go through with 2 and take it down. Then you'll move into your dumbbell standing march, holding it wherever you'd like to for 30 seconds. Then lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. Nice and steady. 2 to 3 rounds. Working on figuring out working weight, figuring out the movements in your workout, and then putting in some box jumps or your jumping option into that warm-up phase as you start getting closer to the workout. Pause that video, take that down. Let's get you talking about these lovely work sets. We'll have a good time today. All right, everyone, we've made it to the work set. AMRAP of 15 minutes with a focus on strength and quality, not necessarily speed. So what we got for you guys, we have one front squat or one goblet squat. So you're gonna pick one or the other, rock that to the end of the work set. So 1 rep, then you'll move into 1 dumbbell push press, either 1 per side, or if you're using 2, 1 total rep with 2 dumbbells. Then from there, you're gonna move into the box jump, 15 reps to 20 reps, and you're gonna choose the number that suits you the best today and your comfort level with jumping. So I want you to pick the number that's going to suit you the best today. Then you'll go back through, you'll add a rep to the lifts, so 2, 2, whatever the number of jumps was, 3, 3, number of jumps, 4, 4, so on, all the way up that list as we start to build that rep scheme and work set. So the jumps are going to go up a little bit from last week, but again, pick your number, make sure you're comfortable with that, and here's some different options. So we covered the squat and the push press pretty heavily in the previous warm-up. So if you need points of performance, scroll back, check those out. The box jump now, we have a few options. So if you do have an apparatus at home that you're comfortable jumping on or stepping on, these are some nice options you have. So the box jump itself, we pull into that power position, so that nice kind of mid-foot position, with those hips going back, drive, stand tall fully, and then step down. We can also, if we're not comfortable jumping on that box, we can work on some step-ups. So we work on alternating step-ups, coming up to full extension at the top, and making sure that we're getting those legs fully extended and pushing through that single leg that's doing the work. Now if you're comfortable too and you like to work some lateral stuff, you can work on that lateral step over or hop over. So we get that nice little hop, and we switch sides. So that would be 15 to 20 total count reps back and forth, working that lateral energy. So if you don't have an apparatus though, there are many options we can play with today for our jump and that we're pretty comfortable with. We've used them before in our work set. I'm just gonna roll this up for a little bit here so it's out of the way. Option number 1 that I've found is super comparable to high volume box jumps and rebound box jumps is our vertical power jump. So I'm gonna do 3 right off the hop, just so you guys can see the flow. I swing into that power position, hop, and I work on absorbing, driving back up, absorbing, driving back up. So I'm not squatting, I'm pulling back into that power position so I can answer right back into that big explosive drive. Those should be done in small bite-sized chunks to keep them clean, keep them explosive, and really focus on the quality of that jump. So my suggestion would be like 3 to 5 reps, quick shakeout, 3 to 5 reps, quick shakeout. That's like 3, maybe 4 sets of work in that work set. It's gonna rack your heart rate up. It's gonna let you get really good explosive hips and really take on that jump. So that's option number one without any apparatus. Option number two is our broad jump. Same power position, except instead of going up, we're going horizontal. So we pull, hook, we land in that same power position. So it's very, very important. Another thing you can also play with is doing them slightly smaller and working on the rebounds. So we go swing, hook, and we continue to land in that nice, solid power position with the knees out and strong in that strong power position. Another option we can play with is that lateral ski jump. So working that lateral energy back and forth. And then we have lots of different things here. So check that bottom piece. We're not going to do the jump squat because we're squatting in our workout. So I don't want to add in that squat volume to this one today. So pick one of these other options for your jump and have some fun with the jumping. Nice explosive expression of power. So as a quick recap on this workout, we have 15 minutes for quality and strength focus, 1 goblet squat or front squat, 1 push press, 15 to 20 of those jumping options, and then repeat, but adding a rep to the lifts, keeping the jump reps the same all the way through. So the jump reps will stay at whatever number you choose at the beginning. Try to resist kind of changing that number because we want to try and keep those rounds consistent as those lifts go up. We want to keep that explosive piece, the consistent piece. Have fun with this one, you guys. Work for quality, enjoy. I love these work sets. They've been going super well. I've had some really good feedback on them. So let me know what's going on with them. Let me know what you choose to do and what you do for your jump. And I'll see you tomorrow for some fun. Bye, you guys.